Hey everybody, welcome to Crack Pack Tuesday number 182 on the Mana Leek. I'm John as always, and we've got another pack of a really good draft format, Ravnica Allegiance. This set has been great. It's much more balanced. It's just so good. Anyways, we're going to crack this pack open, see what's in it, and see what we would take pack one, pick one if this was a draft. And of course, this is a sponsored Crack-a-Pack. Every single patron over at patreon.com/manaleek at the $5 level or above is entered each week to get all the cards from this pack, or if they don't want them, or if they just want the rare or whatever, that's up to them. And this week, it's going to Jan. So he'll have to let me know what he wants, and we'll crack this open and see if we just get Ethereal Absolution like last week. Up first is Prowling Caracal. Prowling Caracal is 1 and a white for a creature cat. It's a 3/1. That's it. We call these blades now. Blades are my favorite stats. I really like sets where 1 white 3/1 is a creature that exists. Raptor Buddy from Ixalan and Resco Swift Claw, and just love them. They die to everything, but if they don't die on that first turn, that's 3 damage. If they don't die on the second turn and they can get through, that's 6 damage. You've dealt more than a quarter of their life total, almost a third of their life total. They're never a first pick. They're in fact way low in the pick order. But I love these guys, but it's not a first pick, so I'll stop gushing about it. Up next is Shimmer of Possibility. Shimmer of Possibility is 1 and a blue for a sorcery. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put 1 into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. It's fine. It helps you fix whatever you need fixing with, whether that be your lands or your creature draws or your spell draws or whatever you happen to need. If you're playing a slightly slow blue deck or a blue deck that kind of requires its bomb or its high alert or something, this is a solid card to utilize to get you there. But it is very, 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 very far from a first pick. You can get these mid-pack at the earliest. Up next is Storm Strike. Storm Strike is a single red mana for an instant. Target creature gets +1/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. Scry 1. Solid card. Very solid card. I love first strike combat tricks because they typically are very cheap and yet still allow your creature to live and kill a creature in combat. And it scries 1. Solid combat trick. Love it. It's a combat trick. It's not a first pick. Up next is Carrion Imp. Carrion Imp is 3 and a black for a creature imp. It's a 2/3 flyer. When it ETBs, you may exile target creature card from a graveyard. If you do, you gain 2 life. It's fine, but a little bit overcosted. 2/3 flyer is not really where you want to be. You want your Windrakes. You want your 3/2s for 4. I said 2/3 for 3, 2/3 for 4. You want 3/2s for 4 flying, not 2/3s. So a little bit weak, gains you a bit of life. Very, very, very filler card. Take these mid-pack at the earliest and cut them if you have better stuff. Up next is Steeple Creeper. Creeple Steeper is 2 and a green for a 4/2 creature frog snake. You can pay 3 and a blue to give it flying until end of turn. This is fine. I don't like 4/2s for 4. I've said that a lot in several sets, but 4/2 for 3? Sure, why not? I'll play a 3/2 for 3 if I have to. Why not get an extra power for no extra cost and the chance that it might fly? Super solid. There is also somewhat of a lack of playable 3-drops in this set. You may have noticed that frequently when I build my decks, I just see a bunch of 2s and a bunch of 4s and just nothing in the 3-drops. And getting a viable playable 3-drop is an upside here. Steeple Creeper, totally fine. Not a first pick. Up next is Mr. Skitter's Skitter Eel. Skitter Eel is 3 and a blue for a creature fish crab. It's a 3/3, but for 2 and a blue, you can adapt 2 and make it a 5/5. This thing's great. It's a 3/3 for 4, which is overcosted. I still literally, I've talked about this on and on. I cannot remember if that's a hill giant or a gray ogre. I think it's a hill giant. Gray ogre, I think, is a 2/2 for 3. Anyways, this hill giant, we'll say, becomes a 5/5 the turn that it attacks, which is great for not much mana. You can still play a 2-drop. On turn 5 after adapting this. This thing is just super solid. It's currently the first pick by quite a margin, in fact. This pack's going to have to be awful for us to first pick it, but it's going to hang out in frame for now. Up next is Debtors Transport. Debtors Transport is 5 and a black for a creature thrall. It's a 5/3 with Afterlife 2. I don't like this card. I super don't care for it. 6 mana for a 5/3 is not where I want to be, and I get 2 Afterlife tokens for it, which isn't really that exciting. Also, aren't thralls already dead? How are they getting deader Anyways, yeah, it's just super expensive for what it does. There's better Afterlife creatures. I've never wanted to play this card. Maybe in Sealed, but in Draft, I'm not even looking at it. Up next is Orzhov Locket. Orzhov Locket is 3 generic mana for an artifact. Tap it to add black or white, and then you can pay Orzhov, tap it and sack it to draw 4 cards. I've seen a lot of people say that Lockets are way more playable in this set, and I don't agree. I still have zero interest in ever playing a Locket, and every time I see somebody play a Locket on turn 3, I go, cool. They wasted a turn. They mulled. Great. I'm going to deal more damage to them. I'm super not sold on Lockets being actually good in this format for some weird reason. Again, as I've talked about for weeks now, this format can be grindy. It is not grindy. It can be. It's not inherently, though. So I'm out on Lockets. I'm never playing these. Certainly not first picking them. Very solid pick here, Frenzied Airings. Frenzied Airings is 2 red-green for a creature cat beast. It's a 3/3 with Riot, which means it's a 3/3 haste or a 4/4. It got Trample, and for 4 red-green, you can give it +3/+0. If this thing is a 7/3 trample, or sorry, a 7/4 trample, it is nutty. That's going to be a lot of damage going through, even if it does end up dying. Very solid card. I would definitely consider first picking it. Against Mr. Skitters, I think I actually take the Skittering Eel just because it's 1 color versus 2, but these are close, so it's going to hang out in frame as well. Locket. I don't really have to talk about that. We already talked about it. It's the Gruul one. It does Gruul stuff. I'm certainly not, if I'm not playing the Orzhov one, I'm certainly not playing the Gruul one. I need to be playing creatures every turn, so see ya, Gruul Locket. No foil in this pack. That is 10 commons. Dagger Caster is our first uncommon. Dagger Caster is 3 and a red for a 2/3 Viashino Rogue, and when it ETBs, it deals 1 damage to each opponent and all their creatures. It's decent. It's solidly decent. There's a cute combo where if you play Blood Braid, or not Blood Braid, Blade Brand with this ability on the stack, give this creature Death Touch, it wraths your opponent's board, which is kind of crazy. And yeah, there's just enough X1s running around. I mean, what did we start this video with? Me gushing about a 3/1. And of course, Afterlife tokens and whatnot. This card's just solid. It's definitely first pickable in some packs. They have to be weak packs, and this is a weak pack so far. This is a very weak pack so far, so I think it can maybe hang out in frame. I think I still just prefer Skittering Eel over it, but it is still pretty decent. Our next uncommon is Azor Tog Goblin. Azor Tog Goblin is red-green for a creature Goblin Berserker with Riot, and it's a 2/2, so it's a 2/2 with haste or a 3/3. That's a good rate. That's a very, very good rate. 2/2 haste is perfect at 2 mana, and a 3/3 for 2 is super perfect. Super happy with that. Very solid first pickable card. Again, hangs out in frame, and again, I don't exactly know which of these cards I want, so let's hope that our last uncommon and our rare kind of clear this up, or else we're going to have a big, long discussion. Sentinel's Mark does not clear it up. 1 and a white for an enchantment aura at uncommon. It's got Flash. The enchanted creature gets +1/+2, and if you cast it at sorcery speed, the creature has lifelink until the end of the turn. This card's fine. People were way too high on it at the start. Limited Resources, I know, gave it something like a B or a B- or something, and I was definitely too low on it. Ultimately, it's okay. That's it. It's okay. I'll typically play it in a lot of my white decks, but I'm not climbing over other cards to get it, and it's nowhere near a first pick. So rare, what are we get? Hey, that makes our decision way easier. Goodbye, other cards. We got ourselves a Hydroid Graces. Hydroid Graces is X green-blue for a creature Jellyfish Hydra Beast at Mythic. It's a 0/0. But when you cast it, you gain that much. When you cast this spell, you gain half X life and draw half X cards, round down each time, flying trample, and it comes in with X counters. This card's fantastic. Obviously, don't cast it for 0. That would be bad. Casting it for X equals 1 is not good. X equals 2, it starts to become okay, and then it becomes more than okay. This card's crazy. This card's super duper good. Easy snap first pick. It's going to win you way more drafts than any other card we saw in this pack. Yeah. Super duper good card. And of course we have a Guildgate and a Frog Lizard. So yeah, I think that's another easy first pick with Hydroid Graces there. If there was, no, never mind. It would have to be like a foil Ethereal Absolution to even consider not taking this. Yeah, super good card and another easy crack-a-pack. Let me know what you would have taken and why it would have been the Hydroid Graces down below. If you do have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can always find me on Facebook, on Twitter, on twitch.tv/themanaleak. You'll find plenty of streams, and over on patreon.com/manaleak. You can sign up at the $5 level or above to get your chance to get all the cards in the packs each week for Crack-A-Pack Tuesday. Plus, more important than that, I hope, directly help out this channel, keep it growing and keep it going. If you like the content, click that thumbs up button, click subscribe if you want to see more. And if you do have questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, see y'all next time.